All right, so we've done a lot of work with shapes and some lines, and today we're going to start diving into tracing images using the pen tool. And this is a lot of fun because it really opens up a lot of possibilities for you. So once you're in Illustrator, go ahead and open up an A4 document. And there's some images that have been shared with you on Google Classroom, and you'll choose one of those images and download it. Once you've downloaded that image, the way to get it on is to go to File and Place, because we're going to place an image. Great. And I've downloaded all the images already, so I'm going to choose the flower. I'm going to place that image, and it's going to give me this option to put it where I want it, but I can move it and enlarge it as much as I want. Great. So this is all kind of familiar, and this first bit's going to be, kind of stuff you already know. When we're working on a tracing document, we want to take advantage of the layers, and the layers are here. Using layers, you can protect certain parts of the document. Like we want to protect this flower. We don't want to actually alter what it looks like. So using this layer 1, which is the flower, I'm going to call this my background. And I'm going to lock it. And that way I can't edit this flower at all. I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to call this layer my trace. And this is the layer I'm going to work on. And I can mess up this layer. That's fine. It doesn't actually damage the flower at all. Great. So a few tools we're going to need for this. First of all, we're going to start with our marquees, our shapes, and we're going to bump this pane out, because we're going to need some of these shapes. And next you'll have your pen tool, and I'm going to bump that out as well, because these are two that we're going to use a lot. Now, first I'm going to look for some geometric shapes, and I can see here in my drawing that I have a circle with some triangles on it, so that's super easy. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ellipse out, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this circle here. Great. Now notice that the circle has no stroke and fill. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a stroke. I don't want a fill on it because there is no fill on the original document. And I'm going to start fattening that stroke up so it looks more like the stroke that I'm using. Great. So super easy. You guys know all this stuff already. So allow me to place that on there. That's pretty good. Now I can check what my drawing looks like by going back to my layers. And my background layer, there's a little eye here, and that's for visibility. I can tick that, and then I can see what I'm drawing. So there's my circle. Great. So I'm happy with that. Next, I'll use a triangle. So I'm going to go to my polygon tool and draw out a polygon. And don't forget, with your up arrow and your down arrow, you can change the angles on that, the number of corners. So I'm going to get that triangle down to a reasonable shape here. Something like that. And using my direct selection tool, I can start to narrow that shape, make it more like the triangle that I'm used to. Great. And let me give that a yellow fill also. And I can start moving that into place. So I'm going a bit fast here, guys. This video will be available to you as a reference, so you can watch it on your own if you need to. Great. So it's a bit big. I could actually shrink that down a little bit, but I'm going to leave that as it is for now, so we can kind of move on. So there, now you can start to see what it looks like. Copying shapes is easy. If you push the Option button down and you drag the path out, you can easily copy your shapes. So once you have that triangle looking nice and pretty, you can start copying and placing that around. Excuse me. Right. So those are shapes. That's kind of a review of what we've been doing. Next is the pen tool, and that's this here. You can access it by pressing P, and that allows you to access the pen tool. You can see the pen tools highlighted here. And using this, I can easily make certain lines. So I'm going to put anchor points along this squiggle here. And you see my line being drawn. Not perfect at all. But I have this tool here, and this allows me to alter them. So I can click and hold on an anchor point, and I can start to drag it out to bend it. And that red line is going to show me what. Now that looks kind of funny. Reason being that on this path, I still have my fill. So let me remove that fill. Great. And let me toggle what that looks like. So yeah, I'm starting to kind of get that drawing coming in there. It's coming together. Last example of the pen tool will be these petals. So if I'm ever wanting to connect something together, I want to connect the paths. So obviously this petal here is connected to this circle here. So I'm going to touch that circle path, add an anchor point, add another anchor point to the top, and another anchor point back to that circle, so they're all connected. Now, again, terrible looking, so I'm going to go back to my tool here, and I'm going to start dragging this out. Now I can notice on the top part of the petal there, it matches up pretty well actually, but on the bottom one, not at all. So that's okay. I'm going to be happy with the top one. I'm going to release that, and it makes that line. Now I have two handles here, 1 and 2. I can grab this bottom handle now, and I can use that to change just the bottom part to match. Great. And you can see now that's matching much better. Right, so it's coming together, and feel free to use different colors and that to make your flowers nice as you want. If you chose the lion, same thing. Good luck.